This is the final listening and speaking assignment by Roderik Kiewiet. And these are my notes. For this assignment I've watched the TED Talk, The Transformative Power of Classical Music. A very interesting TED Talk by a man called Benjamin Zander. And I assume he's a classical musician himself because in his talk he also played some music, but I will get to that. First of all, I thought it was a very interesting talk because I myself am a fan of classical music, and I tend to listen to it while studying or making homework or whatever. And basically, I thought his talk was quite inspiring, and here's why. In his talk, he tries to convince the audience to listen to classical music. And his statement was that fewer and fewer people listen to classical music nowadays. Well, in his talk, he conducts a small experiment where he takes the audience into the music and tries to explain part by part why this classical piece of music has more to it than you might think. Well, his experiment is as follows. He plays a part of Chopin, the prelude. I'm not sure what the exact title is, but it's a very nice piece of classical music, and he slowly analyzes the music with the audience. So he talks about how he starts off with how children would learn to play the piano and how they would play classical music. And he starts off with the impulses. The younger the students, the piano students are, the more they tend to go with the impulses of the music. And later on, he describes how once you know the music, once you've learned enough, you go with one impulse, so you get a bigger flow in the music. Well, so he describes this musical piece by Chopin by going through the notes as it builds up. The musical piece wants to end, but Chopin chooses not to do this in order to keep the tension within the audience. So the audience is moved by the music and is waiting for it to end, but it won't. So Chopin builds it up even more. And Benjamin Zander takes this as an example of how you could feel within the music. And he asks the audience, once he analyzes the entire musical piece, he says he's going to play it one more time with all the parts in mind, and he asks the audience to think of someone who has recently passed away, someone who is very dear to you, and think about that when he or her is listening to music. So he plays it, and he feels the audience as the audience move, and they twinkle, and in the end he surprises everyone by saying he's not sure if everyone could love classical music, but the audience looks like they have really been moved. And I thought that was very fascinating. He really got the people to love at least this little piece of classical music, and he tries to expand on that to really make people listen to more. And in the end, I think that is fantastic, and I think he inspired a lot of people, including me. And in my opinion, more and more people should listen to classical music, but because it does have that transformative kind of power to really move you and to really get you thoughts within the music.